have a ton of tables up today, so the stream is set to four of them instead of our individual tables. We're kind of grinding leaderboard a little bit. We're currently in sixth place. We're also chasing the gems pretty heavily. So yeah, we can't really get the screen onto 15 tables like the stream to chase 15 tables, and I definitely can't jump between tables too much with this many up and running. So we have these four tables in the top left here. We're going to stick to these tables and we'll just kind of play everything by ear. Here we're going to defend the threes. We get called out of the button, squeezed out of the small blind. We're getting a little bit extra equity to set mine. So we will do that in this spot. And he does check, which is pretty standard for him having ace, king, ace, queen here. Just because most villains would bet pretty much all of their pocket pairs on this board, like queens, kings, aces, and they just don't really check back enough. With that said, we're not looking to bet here. Our plan is to call a river bet if he did. It is possible he'll show up with like pocket nines in this spot, but generally it's just, yeah, exactly, going to be ace, king, king, queen, ace, queens, that where they're just kind of giving up and essentially kind of moving on from the hand. Three deuce off, we just fold. Queen jack off, we're just going to fold it to middle position open. Button cut off, we do a lot of three betting there. Queen jack suited especially. Okay, fold the seven deuce. So yeah, we're mixing NL50, NL25 to get that many tables up and running. We are going to be three betting the ace king and bumping up the sevens. So been a pretty coolery day. We've ran into a lot of four flushes and runner straights and sets with overpairs and so on and so forth. So hasn't been a spectacular day so far. 4-5-7 is just really good for his range. Really bad for our range. We would check aces, kings, queens, and jacks here. The reason we previously said that it's always ace king when villains do that is because the fish recreationals, generally don't know enough to check them in those boards. So that's why we can make that assumption relatively safely, and then they don't really three bet wide enough either. So anyways, we have two ace kings, two horrendously bad boards for our range. This villain checks back flop, so we lose to pocket fours. Great. We are going to call the ace king here. Spades roll off, which is interesting. We are going to check here. Villain also didn't bet flop. So we don't expect him to have too many like made hands there. Yeah, ace jack. That makes a lot of sense. We'd likely be calling that river bet if he bet the nine of spades, since the way his hand played out suggests that he was just stabbing turn. And then he definitely wouldn't be attacking spades on the river, I don't think, because he would have c-bet those on the flop most often, even though it's not a bad play to actually check the spades in that spot. Like if he had a flush draw, I just think villains don't do it enough, but it is a good spot because he doesn't want to get check raised, right? That'd be like the just getting burned all over today versus four straights. It's just crazy. Just on another table, heads up table, jacks, and the board ends up going 2, 3, 4, 5. Great spots today, great spots. Okay. So yeah, it's been a relatively frustrating day, but in the end, he did bet the turn on the 2, 3, 4, 5. We called our jacks. River was a 5. He checked down, and we won against King 3. But just like, yeah, not getting great spots. Too much. The Queen Jack, we are going to bump up. The 8-7, we're going to fold. For those of you guys who are checking the stream out on mobile, let me know how it looks. Normally, like we said, we just have one table up and running. Or sorry, 8 tables up and running that we can flip through comfortably. But today we're chasing leaderboard, so the option's not really there. Interesting. We're gonna peel one, and we're gonna fold here. This villain, empty seat, likely has like king queen or pocket kings. I don't think he's bluffing. Most of his king X would either c bet flop, um, and if he doesn't c bet flop, he's not going to raise the king X on the turn there. Maybe ace queen some portion of the time as well in that spot. But okay, we'll come along with the 6-5 suited. Do a lot of squeezing in that spot as well. Okay, we're just going to check this board. We brick again on another table. I'm going to try to not get too frustrated or tilted today, but it has been a very uh, frustrating day uh, of cards. But they do come and go, so we're trying to kind of mentally zen ourselves a lot more during these sessions because they're going to happen all the time, especially as we play more and more and more poker. We're just going to get out of the way here. We're behind a lot, and we actually have like some reversed implied odds against bigger draws and stuff. Okay. We're gonna see if the stream's still up and running because it kept crashing again, like the other day or earlier today. Sorry, it was crashing a bunch on YouTube. It does look like it's up and running now, though, currently. So yeah, if anybody was checking the stream out earlier, it kind of crashed on us on YouTube, and we're right on the cusp of getting monetized. So obviously, we're just kind of attacking that today. Uh, we want to uh, put out a let's see by the river. Um, what was I going on about? I don't really know. Yeah, stream. Oh, yeah. So we're right on the cusp of monetization for hours watched, and we actually put out a big stream this time last year that got quite a bit of views and watch hours. Not today, but tomorrow. Um, so we're trying to hit that watch hour today before it's too late. Excuse me. Queen 10, we're going to continuation bet for value. And the Queen 6 we fold. Against Annie, we're going to check back. It's a really good river card, obviously. We're beating, other than Queen Jack, we're beating a bunch of Queen X now. Um, so we can go for some more value, which we're going to do anyways. The bet check bet line with Queen 10, I think, is pretty fair. We're not really ever going to get called for 3 streets by worse. 10-9, perfect. You could certainly make the argument that it's better to double barrel with all of the draws that are out there in that spot, so you can get value from them because you're not going to get value on the river. Both options I think are fine, especially because if we get check raised, we probably have a relatively easy call for fold, depending on where we kind of think we're at in the hand. So I hope everybody is enjoying the streams lately. We're going to spice it up a little bit, do some gauntlet runs soon. It's just very difficult to do those challenges right now on GG because there's such a push for volume because you only have till January 1st to maintain your state. Otherwise, you will get downgraded. So this new Ocean Rewards is terrible. For anybody who doesn't know or thinks it's good, it's not. It's brutal. I could theoretically be good for a select few regs who can really smash out hours and collect that 80%. But for the vast majority of the population, it is not going to be a good thing. And I think it's actually a terrible thing for recs, other than the fact that maybe they might like the idea of chasing the gems. Okay, here we're just going to shove the ace deuce, call the ace king, win that one, and he folds, we win that one. In the bottom right here, we got raised on the flop, and then barreled big on the spades. It's nasty. It's an interesting spot. Just calls, we bet he raises us. The reason it's so interesting is because villains are pretty nitty. Um, so there's kind of like two counterintuitive points is that when villains are nitty, they don't raise draws, which makes it way less likely that he would have to flush here. He's also never bluffing, but he could also have like pocket fours. But he could raise like ace jack with the ace of spades, like two pair. Really leaning towards falling off here with the set. Just I feel like his range is so much more weighted to like two pairs or pocket fours, given that he check raised flop. Let's collect our 30 seconds of fame here. Hmm. Don't really want to station here, but I have such a strong hand. A lot of me's screaming fold, so I think I'll let it go this time, but not super happy about it. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's tough to put a nitty villain on. Like, he played the flop like a made hand, but he played the turn and river like he had a flush draw. If the ace of spades came off on the end, or sorry, if just like the ace of spades was out there, I guess I should say, not a four straight, but if the ace of spades was out there, I'd be significantly more likely to call. The issue is if he has like ace jack with the ace of spades or something there, right? And then he makes two pair on the river and jams it in our face. You definitely should not very often be folding the set in that scenario. But it's very serious. I guess it's yeah, the stats were pretty they weren't over very many hands, so it's hard to put too much emphasis on them. But nevertheless. Okay, so we're gonna keep going here. I'm gonna pull up the leaderboard since we're chasing that. As you can see, we've got a long way to go. We're at 2,300. Fifth is 29, and then after that is a pretty big break. But we're shooting for fourth place right now on the leaderboard. I don't think we're going to have much of an opportunity to get beyond that. Okay, the Dej Teryanko calls. So if we go 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, 70, yeah. We're just going to go big here and just have basically a pot size shove on the river. Uh, it's also a big argument to actually check here. I don't really like my play. This guy floats a lot of flops. Um, okay. Money's just going in. Obviously, if we lose to a set of sevens, that's fine. Uh, but I think most of his, like, we're only really like losing most of the time there to like 6-7, like his pocket seven and pocket tens, and pocket six is 3-bet. Sometimes sevens might call in that spot, but generally I think you're going to see a 3-bet from them. So we're just going to go for value there. But I do think if we checked turn, we might have got a bet out of him. But he called river and he called the big bet anyways. So I think it's fine. But yeah, we definitely might be able to get it in on the turn if he had a combo draw and we go check shove. He might just call. Okay, flop another straight. We're on a mega heater on these three tables here, in case you haven't noticed. No action though, unfortunately. Okay, we are going to bump the 8-6 suited. Okay. Nice. Just stacked another villain with two pair versus straight on another table. Okay, we're going to bump up the ace king. So for those of you guys who are new to the stream, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It helps promo the stream. We do appreciate it for sure. Stream's actually pretty dead right now, considering it's 6:30, but hopefully it picks up a little bit here once we get going. Fold the 4-3, bump the jack 9. But yeah, a little bit of a different layout today. Again, that's just because we're grinding a lot of points right now uh, at leaderboard, so we just gotta bear with that. 6-3 suited, we'll bump up with a mega whale. Missed our C bet here. I think I will go for the check raise though. We got shot. Both are fine. I just prefer C betting versus the check raise. But villains will overstab blind versus blind when they call too many hands. It's just they're going to have stronger hands in their range to a point. But I guess they'll have a lot of weaker hands too because they're not 3-betting what they're supposed to be 3-betting either. So what's one big thing like Jungleman always talks about is kind of finding out what the pool exploits are and the spots that villains are overcalling, overfolding, over raising, and then really just attacking those spots. And kind of just like doing it relentlessly until somebody tries to do something different. Again, on this board, if he floated jacks or queens, he's just going to call pretty much no matter what we bet. If he has 7-8, he's going to call 8-9, 9-10, 10 jack. All of those hands are calling no matter what I bet. Spade draws are calling no matter what I bet, especially on a rec. Yeah, beautiful spot. Just get the money in. That's the very good spot. He's got 2 outs. and we will happily run it twice. I'm a big advocate for less variance, so even against two outers, I'm happy to give them the shot um, to bank to take a chop over losing a big hand to villains. So we do take that one down. Beautiful spot. Okay, we're just going to edit the video here on YouTube. Okay. Bear with me for a minute here while I make a couple adjustments to the stream over on YouTube. Make a bankroll challenge, blah, 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 blah. No, blah, 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 blah. Okay, poker strategy, poker tips, GGPoker, online. Okay, hold on. All right, back to the tables here for a minute. Raise, raise, call, fold, raise, fold, check, fold, fold. Took a little bit too much time on the setting this whole thing up. All right, that'll do. Okay, we make another straight over here, so he's making up for the previous run back, I'd say, if you ask me. I did time out in a bunch of spots. Flush draw rolls in. Do you think we keep betting for value here? And we do take it down. Could argue checking there. Like if we keep betting on the flush, it does look very strong. So you could argue going check, and then if he checks back, and we value bet river. So a big part of being very profitable at the micro stakes is minimizing losses, because we're playing against so many recreationals at the micros that let's just go get back to my channel here. We're playing against so many recs at the micro stakes that like the less you lose in spots where you're behind, the significantly higher win rate you will have, which is true across all stakes, but it's like you have to take those higher variance spots against better players. You have to take the small edges where you have them versus the micro stakes. You should be able to collect like a massive edge on the pool. He bets really small here. I'm going to raise for value against like 10x. This feels like a block bet with like ace 10 or king 10 or queen 10, something along those lines. Um, and obviously we can just fold if he pops us. Okay, nice hand. I'd love to see if he made a play here with a flush one time. Um, turn go check check, tiny bets river. Be a very good play if he just had the fair ace of spades here. But I don't think I'm going to give it credit for that. Queen of diamonds. Well, he might have owned us there then, if that is the case. Maybe he just check shoves the nuts there. That'd be very, very good play with the ace queen of spades. That's for sure. He wasn't a big blind though. He could have like queen four of spades or something. Not queen four of spades, but queen four. I guess he didn't have queen of spades. Interesting spot. All right, well the money's all in now. Probably just ran into aces though, given our luck. Yep. Well, we were doing great, and then we just run blind to the blind. Ay, ay, ay. Queen ball. Bang. That's huge. Huge team. Huge suck out there. Massive, massive suck out. 136 big blind pot too. Throw out one of these. That's good. We got dumped on earlier. I think it was yesterday with we had pocket aces all in on the flop. Um, NL 100. Yeah, we three bet or four bet, three or four bet pot. Villain called the queens. We had aces. Super dry flop. Money went in, and he binked the queen on the river. A little bit of justice there for the team. Okay, we're gonna three bet the ace king suited. We used to have this villain marked as a wreck, but he's definitely better than I previously was giving him credit for. That's for sure. I really also need to. What's a bad run out ish? Um, get a bot going. Um, Flush draw came in. I think we'll just check this one. Yeah. Don't really think there's too many hands in that spot that are worse that are going to be calling us. So I've got too much going on here. I'm going to make a couple mistakes there in the top left. Uh, okay, we boat up down here, massive pot. And we'll check the villain, and we're going to call here with the ace queen. Villain bet's pretty big again. We are going to float here with the nut flush draw. Flush comes in. I'm going to block bet, I think, here. That's a beautiful thing to see. Villain re-raises us, and we're just going to be jamming. That's, yep. Just calls off there. Probably an easy fold for villain in that spot, I think. He doesn't end up leaving the table, unfortunately. Okay, so a couple big sweaty hands there. Dodged the one and stacked the NL25 table. Not the NL50, but we did dodge the big loss at the NL50 table. Which, kind of had a feeling it was going to be aces a lot there, just because villains really, really, really don't properly four bet. But blind versus blind, even at 100, whatever it was, 130 bigs or so deep, uh, there's just not really much we can do with queens versus aces, blind versus blind. You know, it's just one of those spots where the money's going to go in, um, and there's not really anything else to be said. Was it this guy that I just stacked? Herman? No, it's not. Different guy. Okay, bump here, fold here, check here, check here, check here. We're just going to fold, obviously, the queen six and get out of the way. So we've been pretty comfortably beating NL50 for quite a while. I did check my NL100 stats from recent hand histories. We've played 36 or 38, I can't remember exactly, 36 or 38,000 hands at NL 100. We are beating it for 2.2 BBs per 100. Very small sample though, obviously, so there's going to be a lot of variance in there, but a very good thing to look at and get started to feel significantly more comfortable at the stake. What happened here? We raised, Lenny called out a big blind, okay. What the fuck? King 10, no. 9 10, no. What in the fiddler's fuck do you have? We raise. Lenny calls out of the big blind. We raise button, right? Yeah, fold, fold. We raise button. Let's call ace queen. I think. I don't know. I feel like he would three bet ace queen, but ace queen off. Maybe he. Fuck. I don't know. Fucking hate the time banks now, man. I have no time to think. I think that's got to be ace queen offsuit, or it was just a big bluff. One of the two. If you're watching the stream, Lenny, posted it in the chat. Ace queen or bluff or misclick pre. I guess that's an option too. We three bet check to villain. Yeah, we're just gonna let this one go. No spades, no draws, no nothing. Over cards. I think this T Wizard guy's a little bit tilted after that last hand, just based on his aggression and calling a lot and everything else. Bunch of hands on a bunch of tables that we're just having to fold here, getting eaten. The blinds a little bit now. Okay, the 9-10 we're gonna fold. And all these tables are on like the same rotation. Okay, we're just gonna fold here again. A lot of folding here. A lot of folding going down. Okay. Ace queen suited, we're gonna bump. We flop two pair on another table. We're gonna bump. We're gonna double barrel on a triple kings board, and we get snap called, which is interesting. Like villain clearly, like the snap call is gen. Let me just check this hand here. What happened? Yeah, we bet flop. He calls. We bet turn. He calls. I think we're gonna barrel river as well. Good. Our read was correct. So I'll pull the hand history up. Um, basically, we raised. He calls. Flop, we see bet, he calls normally. Turn, we see bet, he snap calls. Uh, Now, I would say at least 85% of the time, the snap calls um, are like marginal showdown value from recreationals trying to look strong or something weird like that. He's never going to snap call a king or diamonds because the thought of like, uh, maybe I should check raise this will come into their mind, even if it's very, 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 very briefly. And same with like the check was very quick. So between the check being very quick and the snap call being very quick, there's like no thought process there of like, should I ever donk raise here or raise here, which then suggests that they don't have a nutted hand very rarely. And it's generally like pocket tens, like on that board where that hand go, like pocket tens, which he didn't three bet because of the net, uh, or just like an 8 or like a 5-6 or a 5-7, like something like that. It holds pretty true. Okay. So we have a misclicked hand here. Misclick called 3.5 bigs pre-flop. This is the hand right here. And we flopped 2 pair. We decided to lead into him. Didn't work out as planned. Didn't get too much action. But, that's fine. Some villains will read like the donks as super strong. Better make sure I have the right thing I was doing. Yep. Others will read the donks as uh, super weak or showdown value. King 10 off. I don't even know why I didn't consider King 10 off. Yeah, King 10 off is definitely a call pre. Right then. A little bit of a smaller 3 bet here. We could 4 bet. We can call this time with the 4s. At the kings, we're going to juice them up. Check here, raise the queen 3 suited. Fold, 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 fold. Excuse me. Okay, so we have a check from villain. That's king's not good to see. That check is so often the king queen, like we talked about, the ace king, the king queen, uh, from villains. So we're gonna fold here now. Very rare you're gonna see a villain properly check like a 5, 6, 7 type board. If they have overpairs, they're just gonna blast. Uh, so again, we talked about this earlier, but that line is generally just overcards the brick. The villains who aren't studied too much. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. I wish I had that. Which table was that on? I think it was this table here. Where was the hand? No, let me pull this out of the way for a minute. Yeah, so yeah, King 10 makes complete sense there. I don't know why I didn't consider King 10 offsuit, but that's definitely a call. Lots of the time out of the big blind. I'm glad I folded though, because goddamn, I was going to call that. I think if I had another like 30 seconds, I probably would have talked myself into a call on that hand. But yeah, King 10 off makes complete sense, obviously, on that spot, in that board, on that board. We don't really ever check back like ace, queens, jacks, stuff like that too often. Maybe ace, king checks back some portion of the time as well on that board. Great. We're just gonna check the tens, try to get the showdown. We do lose to ace, jack. Okay. I don't even want to look at how much we've just been losing. A lot of hands here. Just not getting folds and not hitting here over the last few seconds. I don't like my check back actually on this board. Um, I really prefer c betting that board. There's a lot of cards we can barrel, and checking kind of just like gives up the hand. We can bluff this ace though. Villain checks to us. We can definitely bluff on this ace. We don't want to go too big because if we had an ace, we're never gonna like over bet here. Um, so I think something like 7 bigs is a good sizing. To say, hey, we check back like ace queen, ace king with no diamond, something like that. I don't expect to get a fold from a 10 too often. Uh, Interesting raise. I don't think I can call here, obviously, with sixes. Um, I think Lenny's good enough to check here, knowing that I'm going to bluff on that ace a lot. I do kind of want a hero call because we do block some diamond hands that just call out of the blinds. The issue is like, what if he bluff raises like king 10? Uh, yeah, I think we can fold that. It's a good like recognize if like bluffing there if he's doing it like noted that I check back flop, which I'm not going to do very often with like a flush. Uh, then you have like a very clean kind of bluff potentially on the river. Uh, I think if I beat the 10, I would have called. I think if I beat the 10, I can call. But I don't think our hand. We do have the six of diamonds though, which blocks again blocks some like calling ranges from the blind. Okay, the queen jack. All right. If I don't win a hand, like if somebody doesn't fold to me soon, I'm gonna go crazy. Preferably when I don't have the nuts, you know. Ooze again over here. Okay. 4x open, we're folding. The 7-4, we fold. The king 3 suited, we're folding. Fold 7 deuce, fold 6-5. Appreciate everybody who is here, hanging out, checking out the stream. I better pull up the chat for Twitch as well, since I don't have it open. Man, these time banks drive me nuts. As soon as you get like it's like just the noise alone, like just I see it, it's up, it's flashing, just I don't feel like it needs to be so in your face. Click me, click me, click me, you know. There's got to be a way to turn off that shot clock though. The timer. I gotta stop looking so near the microphone. There's got to be a way to turn off that shot clock. Looks like we got another sub over on Twitch. I appreciate the follow, everybody. Make sure you do hit that thumbs up if you are watching the stream over on YouTube. Even if you're not chatting, that's all good. Feel free to hang out, watch the stream. Feel free to chat as well. Thinking of creating a Discord too and posting it on here, try to build the community a little bit as the channel continues to grow. Um, we should. I just need to make sure we put in enough stream time tonight so that I can hit my watch hours for monetization before I reset. It doesn't reset for like the years, it tracks like every day, all your hours, right? Uh, but we posted a video February 17th last year, which got like 50 or 60 hours on the first day. Um, and I'm like 15 hours, I think, right now away from the monetization tier. Um, and I don't want to reset tomorrow. So, man, we run so bad. We just got it. Somebody just open shoved queen 9 offsuit on another table. We called with king queen suited, and he baked his 9 right on the flop. Um, that guy's burned us a couple times. We'll give him a nice hand though. Like, what do you do? He's playing a 70 VPIP style. But yeah, a little frustrating. Um, what do we got here? We just got a bunch of wrecks on this upper left table. So I'm just going to float in with my deuces. I don't expect to get squeezed too often unless they have a hand. I expect all of them to just be like, oh, I call, I call, I call, I call. You know, like the seagulls from, what's that movie? The Fish. Fish and the other fish. Finding Dory. Anybody seen that? Okay. Pocket kings in the bottom right. Obviously, we're just folding the deuces on that board. Whoa, chill, bro. It's never a good luck for the table. Tank raising. Always going to be a little bit suspicious. Okay. Okay, the queen five suited. We'll bump from the cutoff. We'll bump the queens. Um, Probably going to be running the gauntlet again soon. That video that streamed it very well. So they're a little bit more entertaining than just like watching the grind. Which I think like people like to watch the grind when they're trying to follow along and like um, watch you like grow through the stakes and build your bankroll and do this and do that and all those kinds of things. Um, but there needs to be like a risk reward or like we hit 100K and this is going to happen, or if we fail, we shave our head and move to Mexico, or like, you know what I mean? Do, 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 do. Okay, fold threes. I feel like we are up a little bit since sitting down. Have we managed to catch? No, we're still chasing that one liner. He's in fourth. Looks like he's started grinding again as well. I've never seen that guy before either. Quite a few like new-ish faces, which is a bit suspicious to me. I'm paranoid about bots. So every new villain, I think, is a okay. Over here, this table, we have queens. This guy's okay. Well, we're calling here. Let's see what happens. We'll pull that back over in just a second. Just gonna see that there. Bump here. Call the queens. Yeah, fuck me. Queens ran into aces again here. Uh, Fortunately. Oh, boys and girls. What a beautiful check back from Bebop Bobbito. So I'm going to check here. I don't think I get much value out of a queen. He might bet a queen anyways on his own. And if he has hearts, he'll obviously be betting there. So we'll give him a shot to bet. Man, this guy's crazy. That guy who, yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. And we're just gonna think for a minute, then jam because we are pretty deep. Obviously, if we lose to pocket queens, we hate our life, but that's fine. Um, that villain called that time. He put all the money in with king six offsuit. He cracked my queens and buddy's aces with his hand. Made a runner, runner, runner straight. See if villain can get away from his hand. I think if he has the ace of hearts, he doesn't fold. Call. Definitely doesn't have queens. Maybe five, six, maybe sixes. Ace ten hearts. Nice. Beauty pickup. Beauty pickup. Big win, big win. Love the check on the river. I think that's the proper way to play it. Feel free to comment what you guys think. Would you have bet that river there and continued barreling, or would you have gone for the check shove in that spot? It's a good tank from Villain to recognize that he's in trouble there. I do think he has to call though with the nut flush, um, potentially. I was trying to think if it makes like, because he beats, what was out there? Let me just check. Ace hearts, yeah, so the queen of hearts is out. I mean, yeah, because I would imagine I would be check shoving the king of hearts in that spot as well. So he probably has to call. Wonder if it's ever better to call with having like the king high flush because then I can be, excuse me, bluffing with like the ace X in my hand some portion of the time. But I think with the boards paired, you want to be like repping, you want to be bluffing as if you have a uh, boat, not bluffing as if you have the flush. But I think if you had like the ace of hearts and something that blocks potential boats. That's going to be your best like bluffing hand there, obviously, because you're blocking him from having the nuts in like two different ways, which is obviously going to create a fantastic bluff opportunity. Might be in a gross spot down here in the bottom left, but it's a four bet pot, so money goes in. Jingleheimer defended the queen at 10 of spades, and he gets it in on the seven jack spades, four clubs. Running it twice, we do survive the first run out. Picks up, and we chop it up. There's the board right here. Not much. Obviously, once you call the four bet and you flop the flush draw, the money's going in, especially with the back door to the straight. Been nice. Would have been a nice hold there. A massive run up. Okay, call the king four suited. Okay, pick up a couple monsters. Ooh, that's too great. Ah, fucking timers, man! I tell you. Okay, flop here is pretty good. And I think we are going to bet here against this villain. Check raise. That's cool. All right. Well, we're gonna fold the aces in the top left against the cold call, check raise, barrel on the fourth straight. It's not a great board for us. He has tons of two pair, um, tons of straights, and then like best case scenario, we're up against like a combo draw. Perfect, running great now. Just when you think you're turning it around. Okay, fold it there. It's not a great board for ace king. Obviously, once we barrel and get called, I think the bet check bet line would be how we were going to play that. Once villain leads into us, we of course have to call the ace king. I think there's enough bluff out there, other value that are going to bet there some portion of the time. Jack nine suited is like right on the cusp of raising and not raising. Stable's actually getting pretty shitty, but Jingleheimer's like free money a large portion of the time, so I don't like to leave the table when he is there. And we're just like we've timed out on every table. It's infuriating. We get no extra time to think. I'm going to call the Jack nine suited here though, and we are going to lead on this flop with the gut shot. Villain calls, and we're just going to keep betting now. Villain calls again. I'm gonna give up against Teryanko. Guy's a bit of a station. I actually think if he has like Queens Kings, it's gonna be uh, zero chance he folds to me. Yeah, he's like even into the tank to bet, so he might even have like Ace Queen of clubs or something. Right? Man, this guy can't fold. I guess you're not on that. You guys can't see that one. 9-8 will fold. I think we burned through most of that massive win that we had there on the river with the ace 10. Getting burned full spots with some straight skis. Okay, fold the jack. 5. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we literally lost that entire massive spike back. Just pretty disgusting. That's okay. Fold the 10-4. It's a tough spot when you're 3-bet pots and you run into a couple different straights, right? Okay. Yeah, stream's back. All right, fold the 8-3 off. We just played a hilarious hand on another table. I don't know how the guy folded. It's funny. Um, we just click. We see bet tiny, 3-bet pot. I'll pull the hand up just against the rec. So like, you just kind of believe their sizings realistically. Um, there's not much else to it, but basically, here's the hand. We raised. He opened. We 3-bet. Um, called. Flop, we bet really tiny on 9-8-3. It's not a great board for us, but against Rex, I generally will just dab no matter what. And then he clicks it back on the flop, which is kind of funny because if he had a strong hand here, it's very rare that he would do something like that, I think. Uh, because there's flush draw out there, and the Rex will always be terrified of flushes. Um, Maybe rightfully so, but nevertheless, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then we just make this tiny little donk bet, and he just folds on the jack of spades. So, bit of an interesting play. I guess he was probably just clicking buttons too, because of the small c bet, but it's kind of funny. Let's pull it back up. Do appreciate, like I said, everybody here checking out the stream. It really does help promo the channel. Um, Appreciate all the support too from everybody. And we are steps away from kind of that first tier into the monetization. So we're gonna have a new stream room coming soon. We are check my Instagram. We've got a picture up on the story. We're renovating, not renovating, building a new house, new stream room. So the basics of it's done. Now we just got to deck it out a bit uh, and go from there. Okay. So we 3-bet 7. He calls, leads flop. Uh, it's fine. Okay. Just gets up. We'll just call that. Let's talk about. And yeah, that's fine. We'll let this one go for now. Beggy's a little bit of a newer villain as well. Okay. Gonna value bet you can't see that hand. The ace 5. We'll just let this go. Okay. Nice. Spiked a little bit. You guys can't see that table. Yeah, so those of you guys just joining the stream, the reason we do not have our usual flip through going is that we have 15 tables up for the stream this time. We're chasing the leaderboard, so we can't flip through that many hands. It's just not feasible. So we are locked into these four tables in the top left, 3 NL50, 1 NL25, a little bit of a stake mix, because why not? And we're just kind of flowing through those. Nice. That's a big win. Okay. Full D4 suited. With weak regs or whales in the big blind, I would raise that hand probably all day long. With a good reg, I will not. Very often. Okay. What happened here? Gotta stop this. Gotta stop missing C bets. I know you guys can't see the hand, but it needs to stop. Okay, 10-8. Can't see that. Okay, the king 8 off, small blind. King 8 suited, I'm gonna 3-bet there quite often. Have another hand over here since there's not much going on. We have 7-8 of diamonds. We're actually going to check back here with the open-ended straight flush draw. Go from there. We don't really get much, so won't be a whole lot happening in that hand. We'll be looking to check down basically uh, with the 7 now. Okay, call. Yeah, we're just gonna check down. Nice. We do. Oh, we have an 8. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. How did I not notice that? Okay, we call off with the ace. With kings versus tens, great spot. And we check calling the 9, of course. Very good flop for us. Okay, and now we have aces, so we're going to bump those up. Okay, we win with the kings versus tens. Aces, not a great flop. Wonder how often I should check this back. Multi-way, I think we can check back more often. Get a really, really good flop here for pocket aces. It's just really good. I'm gonna have to call one more here for half pot. King nut, of course. First, see how's king on. And we do call the aces here. We do get bailed out on the river against Jingleheimer. Jingleheimer. I'm just gonna overbet. He knows I like to bluff. He knows I like to barrel. So I think honestly this is like a perfect opportunity to give him a chance to just make some crazy hero call because he loves that stuff. Oops. I guess I better get back onto the rig table. Tens, that's fine. Yeah, I think we could have gone bet, and villain potentially folds those tens. So I think a bit of a mistake checking back there. Could definitely check back second pair though, but that board, like, it's just a range bet. So bit of a mistake in that spot. I hope the quality's still good. Yeah, they look fine. I think they're fine. They look fine. Okay, fold king four suited multi-way. Okay. Fold five deuce. I'm thinking about adding in some tournaments as well because those always do like way better, like streaming wise. They have like that natural built-in storyline. Uh, so think people like to follow those a lot more. Yeah, I can't believe we burned through that entire. I guess we just kind of ran bad. Yeah. Okay. Huh. I'm gonna call. Probably better just to fold though. I mean, I shouldn't say probably better. It's 1,000% better to just fold the sevens, I think, here than it is to call them. But once villain checks, he just has like ace king. So we're gonna min bet, and when he calls ace king, we're gonna check, and then well, now we're gonna fold. I was gonna say we're gonna check, and then we're gonna call every single river out there. But now we have to fold when the ace falls. Like again, like just 316 hands. Look at this guy's stats. Like he has ace king there when he checks because everything else bets for value. It's a pair. Okay, we're gonna value bet the king jack. Okay, we get called. Interesting. I think we'll go bet check bet against villain. You almost just want to fold and expect to see ace jack here. Obviously, we can't fold, but I don't think I'm very good very often. Yeah, exactly. He's just too nitty. Like he's folding everything on the flop. So when he calls pre and then calls the flop, it's so funny, but it's so like blatantly obvious. Maybe I should have just folded. I was so confident that that's what he had. I can't fold there. But like God, I should have just folded there probably. Okay. Okay, we got a hand brewing on another table. Let's just do this for now. We're just calling here. Brutal turn card. We just call. I think the shove's fine. I don't know though. I think there's a few spots where I'm like barreling way too large. Maybe pushing villains out of too many spots, or we might be able to get some more value. So we need to make sure we're paying enough attention to that. But again, against like a wreck there, I imagine he calls like any two pair type hands and stuff like that, and probably calls a lot of ace X. The issue with ace X is that he's going to call like half pot. So if we shove, we might just like narrow his range to only being like flushes and like pocket sixes that made us set, you know? Okay, up here. All right, we're just getting timed out on pretty much everywhere. Just want to make sure we didn't miss any key hands like aces or kings when we're timing out like that. Oh, that's a good idea. I was just talking to Lenny there. He suggests uh, designating a section for the replays. That is a very good idea. Replays or like interesting tables that aren't on screen. If there's like double, if there's like nothing going on the prime tables or something like that, when we have this, I think I'm definitely going to do that. This like when we have the four table up instead of the individual tables, um, we'll do it that way. I think because then we can pull a table like we've had to do a few times where there's like some big action. We can jump to that clean, and then also with like replays and stuff like that. When we're talking about hands, we can pull them in.